Let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the local bourse. That did get quite a red handover from the Asian markets. Of course, we have seen the JSE extending the losses that we had seen yesterday, and we started off the second quarter. So there we are seeing a decline on the all share of almost 0.5%, with the financial 15 carrying the bulk of those losses, shedding more than 1%, with the industrial 25 declining more than 0.4%. But as we had seen yesterday, the resources 10 complex bucking that trend, as it has extended the gains that we saw yesterday. Today up by more than 0.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets stateside, and on that front, investors seem to be quite optimistic, even though we did have an uptick in the ADP private payrolls for March. Of course, we did see that growing more than expected. Of course, this good news would be seen to be bad news, considering that investors would think that the Fed could hold off on rate cuts. But we are seeing those markets actually going in the opposite direction, with the S&P 500 with a gain there of more than 0.4%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq carrying most of those gains, advancing almost 0.6%, and the Dow there climbing more than 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the markets across the Atlantic, and on that front, investors digesting the Eurozone inflation data for March, which we have seen cool down, surprising to the upside, which is a good thing, from 2.6% in February to 2.4% in March. So, of course, that boosting expectations for the ECB to start cutting rates in June. The FTSE 100 quite flat, just 0.01% above that flat line. The CAC 40 there with a gain of almost 0.33%, and the DAX climbing by more than 0.4%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the Rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Quite some strength that the Rand has shown against the US dollar, now below 18 Rand 70 against the US dollar. Against the pound, flat at 23 Rand 61, and against the euro at 20 Rand 24. Let's take a look at what is happening with the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.08, pound dollar standing at 1.26, and the yen a little bit weak against the US dollar, just under 152 against that currency.